Very welcome. Andrew Selous.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. And I am pleased that Bedfordshire Police's total resources will go up next year to £112.7 million from the current £104.6 million. That is a welcome increase. I would make the point, though, that even between rural forces, there is a difference in the ability to raise revenue from Band D properties. Hertfordshire, for example, a neighbouring force to Bedfordshire, has many more Band D properties, and that is something which I think the Home Office need to be aware of. Now, it is a phrase oft used in this House that it is the first duty of government to defend this country, and I would agree with that as far as our wonderful armed services are concerned. But I think all of us in this House would agree that that duty to defend it refers to our constituents as they go about their everyday business in their homes and at their places of work. Now, because of the way in which Bedfordshire is configured, there are significant issues about the way Bedfordshire Police is working for my constituents and for Central Bedfordshire Council, the local authority in the middle of Bedfordshire. There is significant demand on police resourcing in Bedford and in Luton in particular, which means that the middle part of the county is often extremely challenged. We also are one of 19 police forces to suffer from damping, something that was brought in by the party opposite in 2004, and which this government had the courage to state was unfair back in 2015 when it tried to look at revising the National Police funding formula to reverse the unfair impact of damping, which affects 18 other forces along with Bedfordshire. In Bedfordshire's case, that is a loss of about 90 officers a year, about £3.3 million of funding, which we have lost every year since 2004. And as we look forward to the comprehensive spending review next year, which the Home Secretary quite rightly pointed to, I would expect that issue to be dealt with. So good news on the funding this year, but still more work to do in terms of that very important comprehensive spending review next year. I'm just struck that the police are also less local than they used to be. Many years ago, in my constituency, you would have police officers living in individual villages. There were fully functioning 24/7 first responder police stations in Leighton Buzzard and in Dunstable up to the 1st of October 2012. I want to restore that state of affairs. We have had incidences when the police have been called, incidences of shoplifting in some of our supermarkets, handbags being stolen from ladies outside nightclubs, bicycles being stolen from children, when my constituents have rung and no police have been available. We also have significant issues with county lines operations coming up from London or drug gangs coming down from Birmingham, which have a significant impact on Bedfordshire Police. Now, as has been said earlier, I think we ask the police to do too much, particularly as far as mental health is concerned. There's also an issue around the regulation or failure to regulate children's homes properly, and that puts significant extra burdens on police resources in terms of finding children who've run away, when the owners of those homes should be doing much more and should be far more responsible, an issue I am taking up shortly with a minister in the Department for Education. There's also significant challenges to policing and law and order from the prevalence of traveller sites in my constituency. We've had 3 major incidents of modern slavery. This is all a matter of public record and fact, and considerable extra demands on Bedfordshire Police as a result. The Chief Constable wrote to me recently to say that on one Sunday, the 16th of September last year, the force literally ran out of officers as they had to deal with 7 teenagers stabbed in Luton, 4 rapes, 5 prison officers being assaulted in Bedford Prison, a fatality in a road traffic incident, a 16-year-old being murdered in Bedford, and gunshot wounds coming into the Accident and Emergency Department of Luton and Dunstable Hospital. Now, that was a particularly demanding Sunday, but that level of demand is not unusual as far as Bedfordshire is concerned. I think we should look at what the previous Mayor of London did with the Mopac 7 when he identified 7 concerns of particular concern to the public. Now, those crimes were burglary, vandalism, criminal damage, theft from motor vehicles, theft of motor vehicles, violence with injury and theft from the person. There was a focus by the former mayor on driving down those 7 areas of crime of most concern to the public. They were successful, and I think if we could relieve the police of some of the additional responsibilities, perhaps in mental health, the area of children's of homes, which are not properly the police's responsibility, the police could go back to those 7 really important areas. We also need to think about what builds up law-abiding communities. It was Cicero who said in 52 BC, we have a natural propensity to love our fellow man, and that, after all, is the foundation of all law.